Hey, one and all, welcome to another night of the Chill Stream. It's Tuesday night on this June 25th, one day after my birthday, and well, it's time to chill. I thought I don't do a lot of chilling as is, but this will be great for when I'm working. Be able to chill, chillamundo, man, chillamundo. So, how is everybody tonight? I hope you're all doing uh, good for sure. What has everybody been up to? Hey, good night, Spoon. You interrupted my typing. How did I interrupt your typing? Were you typing on something else and not here? You didn't have to come here right away. Nobody held a gun to your head and forced you. But yeah, so birthday went good yesterday. As you know, I was on Mike's yesterday. I was over on Rex's before that, Momentum Comics. Rex, well, actually, technically, I was on Shadowhawks because Rex got his channel struck for playing some music, so he's unable to do anything at the moment on his channel. And of course, well, not of course, but I ended up going up to Montana's in the afternoon for a lunch. It's where me and my mom celebrated my 50th birthday a year ago. I was typing here, and once you went live, it deleted my text and refreshed the page. Oh, we had to know I was going to be going live. Weren't you watching the time? I usually go, I think would think you know me by now that I usually, like 99% of the time, start exactly on time for the 10. Well, as soon as it says 10 on my thing, I hit live and then, the delay, of course. But what were you typing before YouTube rudely interrupted you? So today I put up a video over on my Pied Piper channel. A snack video. So I'm not sure whether anybody's commented on it yet. 3 views, 4 hours, so that's good. Oh, we did. I knew it would happen eventually. Rick finally goes fully Mexican. That's Joshua. Okay. Uh, how was I supposed to know that? That's how YouTube worked. I don't know. I didn't even know that's how YouTube worked. I could have sworn I went live or seen people go live millions of times before, and I was typing and never think, or maybe it's hard to say. Rick, you have to spend the rest of your life as one of which would you choose? Your Johnny Mnemonic, B, your a powder, or your tiny dinosaur from Jurassic Park? Are you inventing a new character, Canadian mukbang? No, and I'm not sure what a Canadian mukbang would be. Uh, my man, I'm not sure who Johnny McMahon is. I'm not sure who Powder is. Well, I know what Powder is. I'm not sure what. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Whether, but he had like some sort of brain cancer, right? That gave him special powers for a while, but then he, died, right? If I remember that movie. And of course, and how tiny. Uh, he's Keanu Reeves from Johnny. What? I haven't. That's a movie that I haven't seen. Or I don't remember seeing. So I can't fully answer the question without knowing who the third one is, because I'm not sure whether I'd want to be one of those tiny dinosaurs. It could be easy to hide, but way they are sort of fast. No, you're thinking of Phenomenon starring John Travolta. Oh, okay. Powder seems familiar. What's it about? So, I never show. I took a few photos when I was at Art Crawl couple weeks ago, and I never showed those off. Uh, so let me show them off. But I need to go over to here. Click Clip Studio. That. So, so there is for one side, and then a little bit closer up, and then at about I got down there about 2:30, and I had it facing inwards, and then I ended up at about 5:30 switching it around to face the street because they close off the street. So then I did it from that side, and I hung up some drawings that I've done in the past, just trying to sell. And there's a little bit closer up. And that picture we'll save for later. Everybody will be interested in that last picture for sure. Okay, so I will back here. He was struck by lightning as a fetus, and he becomes magnetic. He was struck by light. Then he was struck by lightning again. Johnny Mnemonic has a hard drive built into his head, but if he doesn't offload the data fast enough, Jesus, okay. Speaking of which, Nick Bricado's 9-year-old had a hair drug test that put them as regular ingesters of cocaine on a test of high reliability. Ouch. And I guess that's just more by being in the air. Obviously, I would hope so, not actually ingesting it as, Nick would. Jesus is into cloud computing now. But the data saves the world. Okay. Sounds interesting for a film, for sure. I'll have to maybe check it out. Maybe I'll do a reaction to it when I get my own place. Put it up on my Pied Piper of Hamilton. I think he's just a hit man. Uh, and that was, yeah, Johnny Mnemonic. You have to pick one. Okay, so Johnny Mnemonic is the hard drive guy, and so Powder is the guy struck by lightning. Johnny Mnemonic is the hard drive guy, and of course, I know Jurassic Park, tiny dinosaurs. Is that accurate? Good Night Spoon. I'm just making sure before I pick one, possibly. Yeah, well, technically, we already have a hard drive built into our heads. It's just not as easily accessible as we would like, because our brain is in a lot of ways that. that. Hey, Pilfer Pop, how are you? This test was 5,000 parts with 500 beings. Level casual weekend user would be Powder has no powers. He's just magnetic. Well, that's just sort of a power, being magnetic. Although he probably can't control it to any degree, right? And okay, he has hard drive built into his head, but he doesn't. He doesn't offload the data fast enough. Like, how does he offload the data? What sort of data? Are we talking about? Because you could download erase all of your memory and not be able to function if you emptied your brain hard drive. Or you can just become. Duh. What sort of data is he, I guess, getting that his hard drive fills up? How big is the hard drive, too? He has a jack at the back of his neck. Okay. He's a courier, so it's whatever data he was hired to smuggle. That's what happens in the movie. What you just said. Okay. He has. Oh, that he ends up erasing his whole memory? Yeah. He was a courier for organized crime. Yeah, okay, so you're dealing in digital data, and just making it's just so it's easier, so it's more place that it's stored, like technically he could have stored it somewhere anywhere else in his body, or they could store it somewhere else in his body. Not all, but some. Uh-huh. But if it's connected to your brain, that could be a bit dangerous. So I don't think I'd be taking him. Um, Small dinosaurs. Yeah, like I said, in Jurassic Park, anyways, you never really see them anything happening to them, and they pack up to take down stuff a lot of times. So unless I have a bunch of friends, I'm not sure it'd be smart to be one of those. And then, of course, I guess that just leaves the magnet guy. Powder, you would never be able to use a computer again or watch. Well, you could watch it. Well, it depends on how strong the magnetic force is that's coming out of you. Um, you could possibly do it from afar. And hey, Mike, how are you? How'd things go tonight on Mike Stand? And if everybody could like and share, let's try and get some other people in here. It it was pretty stank, pretty stunk. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Oh, or do you mean strong? Yeah, you probably hit the G instead of the K instead of the G, although they're a bit far apart. So Mike decided to be a goldfish. Okay. uh, Elf and I were our team Tiny Dinosaur. I didn't even think goldfish was on the list. How could you decide that you had to be one of them and it wasn't goldfish wasn't on the list? And then you could do stuff, although I think, or I'm pretty sure you could do stuff to, well, you probably could stop you having from magnetic powers, but you might be able. It was punitive damages because could you wear a suit so your magnetic ability would not adversely affect stuff coming at you to block the magnetic field? I guess in a sense, because I was not going to play the game. Every game was completely unhinged with non sequiturs. Oh, okay. I think there isn't there a way to block magnetic attraction, of some sort. Thick enough suit. I need more information before I can fully say, but it's definitely probably down to the dinosaurs or powder. So let's see. Did you all hear? Well, I basically said what I did yesterday. Did you guys hear all that or not? Or were you guys here yet? Well, I know Mike wasn't, but uh, I saw some guy stop a magnet with a piece of, I think that's 3 foot thick aluminum. He said James says. Uh, Here, let's see. Is there something that can block magnetic fields? Uh, is there any? So I did. Yes, there are several different ways to manipulate magnetic fields. One way to shield an area from a magnetic field is to place a highly furious mere uh, metal material like iron next to it to the source of the magnetic field, and the iron will absorb the magnetic field, which would be much smaller on the other side. So I need to become Iron Man. Faraday cage people. And I heard you were engaged. No, not quite. Not yet. I heard nothing about a date. No, well, see, the date, if you want to call it that, um, which neither me or her, I would like to call it that, but neither me or her have officially called it that. So we went over 3 articles. The highlights being Elk and I arguing whether Abby Green was actually doing journalism or not. Elk felt it was not, and I gave the counterpoint. Oh, okay. The solution to being magnetic is to stick a bunch of metal to yourself indefinitely. Yeah. Or have a suit that you can get in and out of. But typing in an iron suit it might be a little problematic. Faraday cage or Faraday shield, okay, which is an enclosure of iron used to block electromagnetic. So I guess you could do a. I'm not sure how you do it, but also important to note that both of these famous pictures from the sheet of superconducting material. Okay, superconducting material shielding take uh, superconductors can be used for magnetic shielding as well. Superconductors repel magnetic fields. Okay. Did you sign? Did you sign in your heart, Rick? Be honest. No. I like this girl. Obviously. Um. Oh, heat kills magnets. Yeah. Uh. So yeah. Well, yesterday, what I said was yesterday. Well, I did my job search stuff. Went out. Went downtown. Hamilton. Seen a acquaintance I hadn't seen in 5 or 10 years, probably more like 10 years, maybe more. Talked for a bit, caught up. Um, then ended up going up to a steakhouse type place called Montana's. Had lunch because that is where me and my mom celebrated my birthday last year. I'll recap the day. I was busy thinking about magnets. I'll go over that in a second, of course. Um, the date, if what you want to call it. But so this is just what happened yesterday. This isn't when I went to see Skillet with my friend, my female friend. Um, but yeah, after that, I went and bought myself some DVDs or Blu-rays, more accurately. First, Rick, stop reading my comment and finish your story. That was interesting. Then, whatever. Okay. Well, yeah. So I ended up buying myself four. Well, technically, it's more than four Blu-rays because it's four different seasons of something. I got myself the first season of the CW's Flash. um, I got myself the first season of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Hey Tim, how are you? And this is where everybody's going to start to cringe. If you haven't started cringing already, I got myself the first season of Supergirl, although that wasn't on CW. I forget which one it was on. I don't know what network. And I got myself the fifth season of Supergirl, just because I'm a superhero person. I want to have this stuff, and all the first seasons I only paid like $6 Canadian for. The fifth season of Supergirl I ended up paying 13 for. I think CBS for Supergirl the first season, but so I've got those in my collection now. They were cheap, I didn't spend 40 or $50. Um, so after that, I went to Walmart for a couple minutes. That was more just to pay off the tickets for the concert that I had seen the night before, because I put them on my dad's credit card that he's given me to use sparingly as long as I pay it, whatever I put on it off. And I did that. And then I came back to here, and I was on Momentum. What? No, I was on Shadowhawk's channel for a bit. Um, he brought me on for celebrating my birthday, and it was because of normally it probably would have been Rex's, but Rex got his channel struck for playing some music, so um, and they've been doing it over on Shadowhawk's channel. So it was on there for a bit, and then of course I went on Mike's after that, shortly after that, and then well, I chill after Mike's. I probably watched some stuff on YouTube, basically just chilling till about midnight, and then I went to bed. That was my birthday, basically. Summarized. Now you guys probably want more of the details for thing. Well, the first thing I'll do, because they're probably the thing that you're wondering the most about, is I got a picture from the concert of me and her. And there we go. And that's her. Her name is Mina, Mina. Okay, so we showed that long enough. So yeah, well, I did church, came home from church. Thank you. Hey Tim, want to join Rick's birthday present? An online escape room, no cost to you. Yeah, about 3:30. Well, just before 3:30, she called. Let's see, I can find out the timing of things, or I might be able to, might not. Well, okay, I can't because it's Sunday. Things don't show for time. Rick, you shouldn't be sharing photos of attractive women on the internet without their knowledge. Rick, were you tempted by her raven-haired? It depends on what you mean by tempted, I guess. Also, Tim, Rick, well, if I don't read your chats, how can I respond to what you're asking me? Not that you're necessarily, or respond to what you're telling me either, whether it's asking or sharing. Uh, so yeah, she called me about just before 3:30. Probably picked me up around 3:30. Um, I was thinking it was going to be a little later than that she picked me up. Luckily, I had shaved somewhat. Unfortunately, I didn't do a good job. I need a new rate. Well, I got them. I just need to get at some some of my razors to do a little bit better job on my shaving job. Um, I actually bought myself a couple new shirts. I wasn't sure what to wear. I ended up wearing a pair of gray jeans and a blue top that I had just bought. A t-shirt because I didn't really want to wear something with anything, like you know this on, like whether it be Batman, my stuff, or whatever. And of course, I wanted to make sure it was a clean shirt too. Rick, I don't believe she's 48. She's not 48. I never said she was 48. You can drop that by about 20 years. Well, actually, probably 21 years. You said a couple years. When did I say a couple years? That's two. What do you mean that's two? Oh, yeah. Yeah, a couple is two. But when did I say a couple years? She was a couple years younger than me. I never said that. Might have said a few, which, or a bit. Hold on, guys. What? Yeah, I know.
How much younger than me is she?
She's 27.
Is this a girl you're interested in? Or
Yeah. Both? I'm friends with her at the moment, but I am interested in her.
Does she like it?
As a person, for sure. Romantically, I have no idea for sure. She is a lady, girl, woman, however you want to state it, that I went. I'm talking to my cousin. That I went to the concert with.
Yeah, I'll tell you that much. That's cool.
I don't remember saying that 2 weeks ago that she was only two. I wouldn't have said she was only two. That would have I would have said she was younger than me by I probably maybe would have said few at most. I would never have said a couple because few can be, as my cousin was saying to me a few seconds ago, three, but it can be ambiguous for more than three. Obviously not 20, but oh, okay. Let's see, Rick. You need to call her and tell her you had a good time and invite her out again this weekend and tell her your favorite baby names.
How are your favorite what?
Baby names.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yes. A few is actually three. Yeah, well, I don't remember that. Same as some is four or six. Shit. Okay, let's see. Several is seven or more. Okay, well, for I've never.
It's five.
Pardon it?
Several is five or more.
Okay. Yeah, well,
My mom taught me all this stuff.
well, for me, some I've never heard that is four through six, or several is seven or more. Few
More.
three, yes, I've heard and seen it be three, and sometimes a little bit more. Not too often. Most people don't mean it more than three. Um, and of course, couple as I've always known as two. And I'm just saying my perspective. And as for, I actually did contact her today because she was saying because the skillet is really loud, and there was actually a second band there too that played, and we didn't know the name of it. We actually spent a couple minutes afterwards figuring it out.
Were they good?
Yeah. Uh, uh, a DTS Way, ADE. Let's see. ADELITAS Way. Lack of look at these dudes making all these assumptions. It says Timothy. Was the second band Jewish for variety? No, it was not. um, I sort of already did ask her out Canada Day is coming up. I was asking her about going to a Canada Day festival um, on the first. At first, she was like yes, but then she remembered something that she normally does on Monday nights. So it may or may not be on because of Canada Day. I'll probably talk to. I'm going to see her tomorrow in person, um, and I'll talk to her more about that. Um, and no, what was the saying? Something else beforehand. Oh, I know. The Skillets are a really loud band, and the other band wasn't quite as loud as them. The Idealist's Way. They were pretty heavy, but not. They were more rock. Skillet is more metal. Uh, she's she's kind of old. 27. You want healthy kids before 30? Yeah, yeah. Well, I would like to have kids. So that's why I look a little younger than you know normally than most people. Or most. I'm not sure how to say it. But anyway, I was saying about Skillet being loud. So because she likes their energy and all that, but with her their energy, like they were really loud. So she was like, she wasn't after the concert. She was having a little bit of a hard time hearing a little bit. So I did text her and say today and say, "Hey, how's your hearing doing after a couple days?" And she texted back, "Well, fine," and asked me how my birthday was, and uh, I think I don't know her exact birthday, but before I left Hamilton, I'm pretty sure she was still 26. I left in the beginning of February, so I think, and I came back in early May, so I think her birthday was somewhere in there. So February, March, April, or maybe early May. Because I since I've been back, I haven't heard anything about her having a birthday. So and I'm going to be working on finding out when her birthday is soon. I was going to do that today after she texted me back after I texted her about what went on for my day. And I've got something else that I can invite her to. Hey, Tim, watch the language. But as for, although I'm not against somebody, 45 dating a 66-year-old. It depends on what they want. In some ways, I'm not against it even for me, but, I want to, somebody that I can have kids with. Unfortunately, a 66-year-old is not somebody that I can have kids with. I get that you don't like being called hypocrite or anything like that, Tim. And I'm on your side about the thing. It depends on what you want out of a relationship, and I'll say a 60-year old not into are not necessarily toothless. I've known plenty of six people, six between 60 and 70 that are not toothless. 6 months to quarter, 6 months to engage. a couple months. Hee hee ha ha. I'll, let's calm down, Tim, and let's not antagonize Tim Goodnight Spoon. Maybe it's not something you would do. Uh, Guys have been dating people 20 years younger, 20, 30 years younger, and girls have been doing it too for probably not girls so much in history, but
I wouldn't mind dating a guy 20 years younger than me.
you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, and it's probably for various reasons, you know. You might think his maturity is too little or whatever. You know, there could be many different reasons.
All the guys I've met my age are boring. Here, you want to look out the door? I don't like it here.
So, okay, if the guys your age are boring, wouldn't the guys 20 years younger not be boring?
Yeah. That's why I said I wouldn't mind dating a guy.
Oh, you wouldn't mind. I thought you were saying that you wouldn't. Sorry, my bad. I thought you were saying the opposite.
But I was saying I would not date a guy 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not fine.
Oh, okay.
20 years younger than me.
Guys, do not antagonize each other over this. It's a matter of opinions. You know, and not everybody is going to agree on, you know, whether, you know, an older guy should date, you know, somebody 20 or 30 years younger, or an older woman 20, 30 years younger. You know, I don't like being called something. I have, yeah, for sure, Tim. I agree with that. We all have a right to our preference on certain things, and maybe our preference can make us, you know, that word. Maybe not. I guess it depends on how you look at it. You know, we all take into certain considerations when we want, when we're trying to choose a mate. You know, it's just like you'd prefer somebody with blonde hair over brown hair or something like that.
Yep. I prefer red hair. I love red hair and freckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna mind my own business.
Yeah. And for the moment, well, I definitely agree for sure. You know, it's definitely none of their business, but at the same time, they can have an opinion, right? We may not like that they have an opinion, but just like, you know, lots of people don't like the fact that you have opinions on stuff, and that's all right. You know, people don't like that I have opinions on stuff, or like what my opinion is. Okay. What was I saying beforehand? Universe. Uh, well, today I had my meeting with my employment counselor as well, and that went good. Went over the stuff, some of the questions from the interview. Um, before, and also discuss some other stuff. I'm going to be going to a workshop that's going to be 5 days, take place over 5 days, and like 6 hours a day. So I'm gonna and the workshops from like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'm gonna have to be out of where I am probably by about 8, and there for the whole day. Funny, 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 Tim. So yeah, that should be good. That's program. What's it's called the Power of Possibilities. Uh, it says you will learn many new skills in the Power of Possibilities workshop, such as becoming a star at interviewing, gain confidence in life skills like money and time management. You are expected to attend workshops each day, but don't worry, we will give you breaks. Think of this as a job until you have one to go to every day, although it's like basically a week, although it starts in the middle of the week. You will have to participate in energizing discussions, and workshops will introduce you to many different possibilities that you have never even considered. Here's what you'll need. We'll need from you. If you have these things already, please bring resume, cover letter, references, job recommendations, positive attitude. So, yeah, that's going to be from July 10th to July 16th. Uh, Alex, I'm glad you appear receptive and willing to learn from them. Yeah, yeah, I'm willing to learn from anybody. I take in um, the information, and I evaluate it, you know, and see how much it applies to me or doesn't apply to me, or how I can apply it or whatever. Or you know, I think you guys know this stuff. We all do it, right? Uh, oh yes. What are your updated responses? Well, I haven't fully got all my responses updated. We went over them. I got her notes, so that's going to help in doing some more updated responses. Uh, you could learn so much from them. I hope you. Oh yeah, I will, of course. Have fun with that. I'm not sure whether you're talking to Tim or me. Uh, but, so let's see. You know what? I will open Google Docs, and I'll just read out the 3 or 4 new responses to. I got like the first 4 questions of the mock interview. Okay, so I need to. And mock interview. I'm just setting this up so I can see both the chat and some, uh, yeah, okay. So for the first question about tell me about yourself, my new answer is going to be something close to this. Because I might not get it exact, and you don't want to make it seem like rehearsed, but this should be basically it. I'm a hardworking, creative individual who is punctual, good with people, has a variety of skills I have picked up through life in general, and I should be in jobs. I got the general and the job and jobs I have had. Uh, some of these some of these are being able to prioritize tasks and my time. I also have good customer service skills and am computer literate. I didn't say Alcoholics Anonymous. So that's my new answer to tell me about yourself for my mock interview, which will go into real interviews. I don't remember one of the A's. Uh, oh, you guys are tough. Oh, okay. And the second question was, of course, I see from your resume that you own a comic book business. Why are you looking for employment? My new answer to that is it is not financially sustainable for me to support myself at this time as it is a passion project. My new answer for number three, what are your short term and long term goals? Short term is for new answer to acquire employment in whatever job category I'm interviewing for. And then long term is to keep being gainfully employed for years to come. Fairly simple and to the point. And then for what are your greatest strengths? I've got several things listed here that I can choose from. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, but I don't tell them that, Tim, because I want them to think that it's not going to take me away from working from them for years to come. Where if I start making it big, I will. Anyways, for answer, my greatest strength is like when I have attention to detail, and I say something about in making comics about making sure the art is correct, prioritizing. Say something about the tasks involving the crowdfunding campaign and fulfilling them. Creative. Say something about coming up with looks of characters and backgrounds, and more ways to get uh, more ways to get for crowd money for the crowdfunding. I gotta. And then customer service, say something about interacting with people on YouTube and or at conventions, and probably maybe some other jobs that I've had. Teamwork is say something about working with artists, writers in the comics, and maybe some other jobs that I've had teamwork with. Any jobs seem promising? Well, yesterday, I'm not sure how promising it is, but yesterday I did apply for a store manager at a comic book shop called Conspiracy Comics here in Hamilton. So um, I was mentioning that to my employment counselor, and she said if I haven't heard back from them by next Monday, to give them a shout out. And see if what's the deal, I guess. So there was other questions on here that we talked about that about for ideas for. Yeah, okay, we're going back to that. Hey, Alpha Proto, how are you? Um, well, and there's the thing. I'm not sure whether I want to call it a date. I would love to call it a date. Don't get me wrong. But a few weeks ago, we both attended something called the Living Rock. This ministry called the Living Rock has this thing called the Gathering on Wednesdays. It is a youth ministry itself. I have been involved with it since I was a teen. Um, I actually headed up their kitchen, which I wasn't cooking anything really usually, but selling bags of chips and pop and stuff like that. So that thing people have been telling you to do for 7 years. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Good night, Spoon. Um, but she came. She was coming to my church that I'm going to now for a bit. She stopped going, but I had been to this ministry before. The guy that heads it up had come to her church, to do a sermon or help with the worship team. And he said, "Hey, Rick, why not come by on Wednesdays?" And well, I figured, why not? Mina goes there. Her name is Mina, Mina. Call. Yeah. Well, I've actually reached out to a few employers, through Indeed after a few days, and very few, if any, have ever gotten back to me about anything. And this is one that comics really up my alley, right? So it's one that I care about a little bit more than possibly others of thing. Um, but to finish answering Alpha Proto, but anyways, yeah, a few weeks ago, afterwards, me, her, this couple other people were talking, and they showed off a skillet video, and then this one guy that's in charge of the sound there, he mentioned that Skillet was coming to, the area. Mina sounds and looks like okay. I'm not sure what that word is. Mina talent. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to use that for her. She'll like it. Um, uh, stop interrupting. I'm trying to learn cross comic Chris. Um, but yeah, so I went home that day and I looked up Skillet, when they were coming, and found out they were going to be playing on the 23rd at thing. The day before my birthday, which was yesterday, 24th. So the next week, the next Wednesday, when I went there, you know, I just we got into a conversation, and then I had brought up about Skillet playing, and asked her. Oh, I'm not sure whether I said, "Do you want to come with me?" or whether I just said, and I more remember saying this. I'd like to go, but I don't have, I don't really want to go by myself. If I had somebody to go with, fine. I might have said after that, "Would you like to go, or do you want to go, or whatever?" Thank you, Alpha. But basically, she said she had to check her schedule, make sure she was free that day, which is, fine. So I waited to, I left it at that. And then the next day I texted her and I asked her, "So are you free?" Because, I wanted to know, do I go and buy these tickets or not? Uh, so when you talk to, yeah, but for most jobs, yeah, I want them for employment, but I wouldn't feel to them like I would feel like for Mina. So that seems, uh, are you, yeah, yeah. Oh, you want to communicate positive things about yourself. Yeah. I guess if you mean it like that, I guess, yeah. And, that's, like I said, through these employment council mock interview, yeah, I'm learning this stuff. A lot of those things that I've shared before are good. It's just, I've been oversharing, really putting too much of my personal life in there, which was red flags. But uh, Alpha's like, dang, most ladies tell me they have to check their schedule. That means no. Yeah, well, um, hey, I figured, and in a lot of ways, I assumed that's what it was going to be too, Alpha, for me. Uh, but I decided, you know, the worst thing that she can do is after I contact her and say, "Hey, are you busy or not?" The worst thing she can say, "Yeah, I am busy," right? So, with her saying yes, I end up buying the tickets. Unfortunately, and although it didn't, I had to buy. We both sat in seat six, but one of us, I had to buy one for row J and one for row K. But unfortunately, there was a bunch of people didn't show up, or the seats weren't filled, or whatever. I could have sat beside her in row J, in the row that she did. And I gave her the option for sitting in row J or C, J or K, and the seats were even still with that. It was no different than, except for her having to look back towards me, to talk. Um, it was almost no different than sitting side by side. Really, the seats were that close for the rows. Um, so yeah, I talked to her last Wednesday about okay, this is when it starts. But it was more when doors open. We found out. So when do and it takes about an hour to get to Toronto, where the venue is. Oh, so Not in that way. But, well, it depends on how you want to say that. Oh, she did go with it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We're some low rise next day, just the same. Yeah. But yeah. She went with me. Um. So yeah, I bought the tickets, and like I said, Wednesday we talked about the timing of things. As she was driving me back to where I'm living at the moment, because we were at the place that I was talking about earlier, and the last few weeks, unless I had to go somewhere else, like to the mall downtown, which is right close by to the place that I see her every week at. I've been getting a ride back to wherever I'm going, or go a ride to wherever I'm going. Uh, well, it wasn't on purpose, Alpha, about the front and behind seats. It was just in the seats that I had to choose from. All the other seats were further apart, and this seemed like the most reasonable. If I can't get side by side, you know, one in front and one in back, and like I gave her the choice: which seat do you want? Do you want, you know? And she sat in the closer seat to the stage, which isn't. It's like literally 2 feet difference, but or something that 2.5 feet, something like that. So ended up picking. She drives. So she ended up picking me up around 3:30. I was expecting more around 5, 4:35 or later. But we ended up going out for lunch or early dinner. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to call it. At like between 3:30 and 4. We I was gonna pay for dinner, but because for the meal, but because I paid for the tickets, and she didn't pay me back for the tickets or anything like that. So, um, but because I paid for the tickets, she paid for the food. Uh, you, no, I did not. I'm not sure whether you mean something. Thing. No, we went to. Is it? I don't think it was Korea. Vietnamese. We went to a Vietnamese restaurant. Actually, it might be the first time I had Vietnamese. What? That's what. Yeah, we have more than poutine. We have almost anything that you guys have there in the states to eat. We have hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, you know, Italian, Mediterranean. Did she order dumplings? No, she got some sort of soup based thing. Uh, I think it was had beef in it. I got something rice with some pork, a couple other things. Um, so then after that we drove to Toronto. Um, uh, Found a parking spot in the Toronto near the venue of where we were going, and we talked along the way bunch of different things, and yeah, and then we had to wait in line. I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes to before the doors open. We got there just after 6 to be in line. The doors opened, I think, around 7 or maybe just before. Raw eggs with pork stuffed in them. No, that's not what I had. Oh, metaphor. Uh, um, so, and we got talking to a gentleman in front of us who was from Ukraine but's now living in Canada. So I had an interesting conversation there. Um, and then, well, we stopped in Shoppers to grab something to drink, and although I would have paid too for that, she ended up paying. Um, but yeah, I've got so the concert, we had an unexpected band play. I thought there was only going to be Skillet there, but they had an opening act, which was a pretty good band too. I mentioned them earlier in the stream. Let's see if I still have it up here so I can. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Abdeltus Abdeltus Way. And that Adeltas is spelled Adelitas, and I think you guys know how to spell it. So what happened to Jersey Play? I know I heard about a scandal with them. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was. I'm not worried about that. I like them too. I didn't have a lot of their albums, but I heard a bunch of their music. As far as I know, they're not around, or they might have been trying to make a comeback. I'm not sure. Um, my favorite Christian punk band is Superchick. But yeah, so we listened to both bands. She liked both. Well, we both never had heard of the first band. They were good. Like I said, starter band, they were on for, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour, and then Skillet came on. They played two of my favorite songs of theirs, Monster and Hero. And then from there, well, like I said, she liked Skillet as well. Talked a little bit about that. Um, and afterwards, you know, after the concert was over, of course, we left the facility and we ended up we were on a corner trying to figure out what the we spent like 5 or 10 minutes trying to figure out what the first band's name was, because in none of the stuff that I had gotten, it didn't even that I had seen beforehand didn't even show that there was going to be this starter band. So it's like wasn't on the actual website for the venue or whatever, or where I got the tickets. So we spent 5 or 10 minutes trying to fat that. Walked back to her vehicle where she had parked, and then got in, talked for a bit in there. Well, eventually started drove back to Hamilton. Shortly and talked about this. Oh wait, I just read what the scandal was. A big pile of nothing. Oh, okay. Can't wait. Can't you Google the sound and song? Oh yeah. Can't you Google the sound of the song and get the song? Oh, you probably can do that, but we didn't do that during the concert. This was after the concert that we were trying to figure it out. And Skillet actually said their name once, and thanking them for being there with them, but just couldn't make it out. Uh, is there a picture of this lady? Yes, I showed it earlier, but I guess you weren't here. I guess it's for Alpha and Timothy. Let's see. There we go. I think you should be able to see that now. Okay, so I haven't done it with music, but I take pictures of my coin collection now, and Google translates the text on coin. Probably. Oh, but it's using his imagination. So yeah, and just shortly after we actually got into Hamilton, right now she's living in Delhi, Ontario, which is probably about an hour away from me in the opposite direction to Toronto. But she's in Hamilton apparently a lot. What else? Yeah, she was living in Hamilton for quite some time, but while I was away in BC, she actually broke her leg. And she was just on the tail end of recovering when I came back. She's not on crutches anymore. For the first couple of weeks that I was back, she was on crutches, and I think the third week she had a boot on. Now she's walking without a boot or anything like that. So, hey, Beluga. So she was staying with her dad in Delhi. And I don't mean Delhi, India. I mean Delhi, Ontario, Canada. Alpha. You can't bring babies. That's, I didn't break up. I wasn't here. Uh, I know she told me how she broke them, but I forget. Um, yeah, I think I said this, but shortly as we got into Hamilton, it was just after midnight, and she sang "Happy Birthday" to me. She dropped when she dropped me off. We were when we got outside of where I'm living. Um, Talked for a couple more minutes, and then I'm trying to be courteous, and I let her go. And earlier today, I sent her a text because, as I was saying earlier before you were here, Skillet. If you don't know them, they can be very loud. And so, at first, after the thing, she was having a little bit of a hard time hearing. So, I texted her today, "How's the hearing going?" Doing. You got your hearing back? Something, I forget exactly how I said it. I could easily look it up on my phone, obviously, but she texted back that it's back to normal, and then asked how my birthday was, and I told her basically a bunch of what I did. And I haven't heard back since then, but I'm going to be seeing her tomorrow, so, or I should be seeing her tomorrow. Did she do it in the style of Marilyn Monroe? Um, Not sure how I would describe it. It just wasn't "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." There was a little bit more feeling to it, shall we say? So, and well, I did take the time. Canada Day is coming up here in Canada, July the 1st. So that's next Monday. I did. There's a festival going up on at a place near here called Ancaster Fairgrounds. I did ask her out to that, and at first she said sure, but then she remembered that she had something that she normally does on Monday nights. So, but I pointed out that it is a holiday. They might not be doing it, so she said normally they do stuff whether it's a holiday or not. So again, I'll be finding out about that tomorrow. And if not, I've got a couple other ideas. One is a little bit further off than I would like, so I got to figure out something for before that. So I might uh, put up both of those. No, I did not present both of those ideas. One is on the 20th of July. The acquaintance I have, no, you guys don't know where this is, but in Oakville, that's a couple towns over, has a he has this once or twice during the summer a barbecue slash pool party. So I'm thinking of inviting her to that. But that's a bit off. I would like something before then for quote unquote date. Um, if the Canada Day thing doesn't work. And also you can well, technically she was on Instagram. I'm not sure whether she still is or not. And I'm not going to be sharing her Instagram stuff, but uh, where does it show? Probably not. Following. Okay. It's her, but she used to have a different account on Instagram, and there was a picture of her in a bathing suit, a bikini on there, and I so I've seen that. So, but but with that barbecue sauce pool party, there's going to be like 100 other people there. So I got my ticket. I'm going no matter what. But I got, and unfortunately, I couldn't get both our tickets at the same time. So if she says yes to that tomorrow, I'll just give her the link, to get it, and I'll say, hey, okay, get the ticket. That way, if you end up wanting to go, fine. If not, fine. You just, you know, let them know a couple days beforehand, that you're not going to be able to make it. or whatever. I'm not sure how I put it. I got a couple. I got till tomorrow sometime. I got I got 12 hours to think of this. But I was also thinking of maybe trying to go on a hike with her to sort of a possible old type of close to an old stomping grounds of mine, a place called King's Forest. Let's hope she never watches this show. Yeah, for sure. Or she can watch it just, 5 years down the road or a year down the road when hopefully, we're more of an item. Are you still here? I wonder if Goodnight Spoon is still here. Take her to Queenstown. I don't even know where that is. And, uh, maybe I'm thinking Canada's Wonderland. That's a amusement park here in Canada, near Toronto. See whether she might want to go to that. I'd like her to move back to Hamilton. That would make things easier for sure. Where the British beat the American. Well, something that would be probably close is Battle. Well, I was going to say Battlefield Park, and then there's Dundurn Castle. Oh yeah, Niagara by the Lake would be good. Maybe Marineland. There's a few different things. But if we do the hike, I am thinking of packing a lunch, and I was able to find out her favorite sweet, if you will. She really likes sweets. Not that that's really surprising. So, what else is there to say that I can think of? What else can we talk about? I'm not sure what else there is to talk about. Uh, oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Elk. Unfortunately, what we went in, like I was saying earlier, we went into Shoppers. We both grabbed a drink, and she grabbed herself some chocolate covered almonds. And I said something, but I guess I didn't say it loud enough, and I should have probably emphasized it a bit more. That she probably shouldn't have bought this one snack because unless she was going to eat it before we went in, it was just going to be a waste. What is Rick using? What is this Rick using strategy? Well done. I always use strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, though. But she's a girl that's sort of giving me a chance. Like I said, I don't know whether, in some ways, Sunday was a date. In some ways, it wasn't. Yeah, I paid for the ticket. She paid for dinner, and a little something to drink. She was, and she was offering quite a bit. Oh, you want something to drink? Something to drink? And not meaning alcohol, just And I'm good. Yeah, so yeah, it was a good Sunday was a good day. Yesterday was a good day for the most part. Like I obviously did think about my mom a little bit, and not that that's a bad thing. It's just it was a little sad not having her there, or maybe a lot sad. This is my first birthday without my mom. Yeah, normally I would, if I could have, I probably could have made it so I pay that she didn't pay. I don't know. I didn't want. It's a question of how forceful, for lack of a better word, that you want to be, or insistent. I guess maybe is that you pay for this or that. You know. I'd feel a lot more comfortable calling it a date if I did pay for everything. But the thing is, I never said, and I didn't really want to approach it at the same time. Say, is this a date? Because certain things definitely made it feel like a date, and some things probably didn't. I don't know. Okay, so we got half an hour to go here. We got to think of something to do. You know what? I'm going to do two things. I'm going to play two different things. I'm going to play a song by my cousin, her own original song. But first, I'm going to play a video that I put up today on my Pied Piper of Hamilton channel for Canadian snacks. Da, 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 da. Right there. Oh no, we want here. So this we want to. Uh, if she had a good time, isn't that very true, for sure, Tim? And she did have a good time. I think she had a great time, in fact, and that's definitely what matters most. Leaves a good impression for me. Let's just current tab. Let's go to trace. Okay, I guess that's to Melvin, Tim. Okay, we'll hide this right here. So this is a video for my latest thing on Pied Piper of Hamilton for Canadian snacks. Pied Piper Hamilton here, coming at you from a fresh location at a friend's house. But a couple weeks ago, I was down at this thing called Art Crawl here in Hamilton, and I was setting up a booth for my comic type stuff. And there's a booth next to me, and they were selling some Mexican candy. So, as the thumbnail probably says, the Pied Piper of Hamilton's Canadian snacks goes Mexican! Eh, la cucaracha! But first, what we have here is, as you will be able to tell from the thumbnail, is Vidro Pica Fresca. And it is a strawberry flavor. It looks like almost a gob dropper. Forget how it's said. A few things. So we'll open the package as you see here, and it appears hard. Has a little squishiness to it, but I was told by the girl that sold it to me that they are actually squishy inside. So let's pop this thing open, pop this thing, and see what it tastes like. It's really salty on the outside. Well, not really salty, some. There's a salt, definitely a saltiness to it. I taste a bit of the strawberry. It's not as chewy as I was expecting. And the saltiness does have a real major taste. So it's getting a saltiness and a sweetness there. But the saltiness is a little bit more overpowering than the sweetness. But having had this, I would have it again. I'd be more prepared for it, for sure. And actually, I do have a second one that I have. So, yeah, that was interesting, good taste. And I would highly recommend it. So, if you're in Mexico and you can find these things, I would recommend them. So there is that. So thank you very much for tuning in to Canadian Snacks. And this is going to be a 3 to 4 part series, the Mexican thing. So watch out for the next ones in the next few days. So thank you very much. Bye for now. God bless. Okay, never ever let your girlfriend see this. But she's not my girlfriend yet, and oh well, it's on the internet unless it's private. This video. What do I have to hide? I don't think I've said anything wrong here, or at least 4 or 5 years, or inappropriate. Yes, I've made some plans on how I might do things, but yeah, hey, anybody smart makes some sort of plans like this. So what do you guys think of that Canadian, that Mexican snack or the video anyways? You guys didn't taste the Mexican snack, so you can't really tell me what you think of it. But you can tell me what you think of the video. Did you mean don't let my girlfriend see the snack video, Elk, or this video? Which video did you mean? Somehow I'm thinking you might have meant the snack video. Well, I don't think she even knows more about. She knows about this channel, but she does not know about. I don't think she knows about the Pied Piper of Hamilton channel yet. Um, don't you mean your Mexican snack? What did you do? What did you do? It was okay, I guess. Oh, geez. Lots of support there. Hmm. That's funny. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to present. I'm going to play my cousin's original song that she has up on her channel. Are you talking about the one that we're presently doing, or are you talking about the one that the snack video, Tim? Okay, so and I'll see that any comments after I play this, which will be about 3 minutes from now, just over 3 minutes.
Lord of Lords and Holy King, I love you more than anything. Thine will be done in my life. You came to set the captives free. Took the chains right off of me and promised me everlasting life. So let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Holy Spirit flow in this place. Let your Holy Spirit flow, let it go. Let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Spirit fill me up with your grace. Was a girl behind a wall, acting tough and standing tall. The things I done were oh so cruel. It took away the hurt and pain. It turned my loss into my gain. No longer seeing me as a fool. So let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Holy Spirit flow in this place. Let your Holy Spirit flow, let it go. Let your Holy Spirit flow. Let your Spirit fill me up with your grace. Oh, let your Holy Spirit flow.
Let your Holy Spirit go. Let your Holy Spirit roll in this place. Let your Holy Spirit roll. Let your Holy Spirit go. Let your Spirit fill me up with your grace. Hello, I'm Anita Chapel.
Oh, yeah. Stop share. Uh, you figured it out, Rick. Okay, how'd you guys like that video of my cousin singing? And if everybody who hasn't can hit that like button and share this out, although I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be on. We're almost at the 2 hour mark. We're about 14 minutes away, but I'm running out of stuff to talk about, and not a lot of people talking in the chat at this point. So,
Did you play my song?
yes, I played your original one.
Did they like it?
Nobody said anything yet, so they could or could not have. I don't know. I've only got 3 people watching at the moment. One of them might be me. I'm not sure. And nobody seems to be talking much in the chat at the moment. Nobody said anything for about 4 minutes. So, yeah, so nobody says anything in the next 3 minutes or so. I might just end it 10 minutes early because I don't know what to talk about. Part of my whole stick is interacting with the chat.
Talking about Christmas in July.
Well, July is coming up, so. And technically, Christmas is literally 6 months away.
6 months, 1 minute.
No, 6 months.
Oh, it's the 25th. I'm looking at 2024.
Yeah. Well, technically, Christmas Eve is part of Christmas, so you know,
Yeah.
because my birthday is 6 months away from Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
My mom, let me know, said that to me like I don't know, 40, 50, 40 years ago, maybe a little bit more. So I've known for years, of course, and of course our cousin Amanda, I think it is, Charlie's daughter. Yeah, so she normally celebrates. Anna and that usually celebrates her birthday on the 24th, 6 months away.
Yeah.
Just so she doesn't feel like she's getting gypped for presents and all that. Or that's when they did. Now that she.
They did for Egg too, and they made sure that everybody's birthday, like our time, because I was born on the 14th of December, before Christmas, and we get ripped off on the 14th too.
Yeah, I'm probably Rick too. The same. Yeah. I don't even know why I have the headphones on. Nobody's here. I didn't even send out the link today. So, well, nobody appears to be chatting in the chat, saying anything. So, I think with that, I'm going to say adieu for the night. Thanks everybody for coming by. Been great chatting with you all about everything. I will be, of course, back here next week. I will I'm not sure whether I haven't got any extra videos planned this week. Um, except for over on Pied Piper of Hamilton, putting up some more snack videos. So with that, I'll just bid you all adieu for now, and we'll catch you later. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day, week, all that stuff. Love you. God bless. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, oh, Rick, that wasn't 3 minutes. Well, it said 47. It says 50 now. So, okay, maybe not down to the second. Good night, spoon.
51.
Yeah, 51 now. So now it's been for sure 3 minutes. See what? I'll give Goodnight Spoon time to respond.
Ask for me, how did Goodnight Spoon get his name? His screen name.
Goodnight Spoon. My cousin wants to know how you picked out your screen name. He just said, I'm just saying, I guess that's about the 3 minute thing. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I will continue that sentence after I respond to your cousin. Okay. I guess that he will continue that. I am just saying after he responds to you. I'm just trying to do something to entertain. I'm not sure how entertaining it is. Ricky do. He loves you in the morning and in the afternoon. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Da-da, 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 da-da. And he says it has sentimental value regarding someone I cared for once upon a time. Ah, is that something to do with the person that we've talked about before off air? Goodnight Spoon, or somebody further back in your past? Of course, you cannot answer that question too. Continuing my earlier sentence, if I have to be up till midnight, you have to stay until midnight. Hey, if I end early, you could go to bed early. Sure, that'll fit the timeline. Okay. What will fit the timeline now, Rick? I'm on a bus to LA. What's that supposed to mean? Sure, that'll fit the timeline. I just can't fall asleep willy nilly. Well, I can't. Ask almost anybody that knows me. Well, especially if it involves a ride in a car. Actually, there's something I'm surprised of. I didn't fall asleep in the car on her on the way up there or the way back. Fine, yes, it's what we discussed. Ah, okay. Yeah, I figured the way I asked the question might get people a little curious, but doesn't give away much. If actually, I'd say it gives away nothing, except for the fact that we've talked off air. I've talked to lots of people off air. It'd probably be good to do that again sometime, but I get car sick. Everyone knows I suck at driving. And well, I'm not sure whether you've taken off yet, Alpha Proto, but if you have, good night, peace out. I guess I can stick it out for the next 4 minutes. Or less than 4 minutes because, you know, it says 56, so we got so many seconds and all that. Oh yeah, true. We will. Oh, Elk, if you're still here, do you, when you have that, I guess you're just going to be sending it to my email. And good night, Spoon. Uh, you want to send me an email? I think I got your email. Let's see. Let's see. Contacts. Uh, oh, Alpha, you might want to do this. I'm not sure whether you'd want to do this. On Thursday night, we haven't set up an exact time, but it would be, I think, after 7. Um, me, Goodnight Spoon, Elk, or as he's known now in the chat as Parasocial Audience, I think it is. Yeah, Parasocial Audience are going to be doing an online escape room. Did you want to join? He's paying for it for my birthday, so it'd be no cost to you. Well, I wouldn't say it's like a bachelor party, but do you know what an escape room is? Alpha Proto. Oh, okay. I thought you might have heard of an escape room. It's basically you get locked in a room, and they have many different styles for the room, and you've got to figure your way out through the stuff that's in the room. To get the key to unlock the door. But in this case, it's they have lot of different cities have these physical places you can go to do it. They actually did there's an episode of The Big Bang Theory where they did it, but with this, what I'm talking about is not a physical one that we're doing it. We're doing it digitally. So it ends up more being, I think Metal said last week in the chat, ends up being a little bit more D&D type thing. 15 minutes before I answer the question. How can he do that? Yeah, so you're not going to a physical place that you'd be just sitting in front of your computer for what I'm talking about. It'd be a digital room, so I'm not sure how big the room is normally either. And you're, like I said, you're in there with the physical one, you're in there with 3 or 4 people. I'd still get anxious. Okay, yeah, well, okay, well, that's no problem, you know. I just figured I'd ask, you know. I know what's his name? Elk asked Tim earlier, and I think Tim said no. I hold my breath when people go underwater. So minutes, seconds, it's all the same time. It's all the same. Time is relative. uh, yeah. So well, good night, spoon. I guess it's just you, me. Well, I don't think Tim said. I'm not sure whether Tim said yes or no to that. And oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Alpha, you know, I just, like I said, I just figured I'd offer, you know, especially, well, digitally, you know, it's. I didn't know about one. I didn't know about your claustrophobia, and two, I just, you know, I figured, you know, just sitting at your computer, well, it's something to do or whatever. I'm not sure how to put it, but it's no problem. You know, you don't want to do it for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It's all right with me. I guess I would be willing to be. But as I was saying, good night, spoon. I can't find an email address for you, but an old friend of mine that used to come on this channel named Evan Hotep, I have his. Yeah. I know you're not probably really in contact with him because you weren't around when he was around, but you think I should give his email to Elk to for whatever reason? He was happy too. Did he wear a happy tutu? Okay, well, I will. I will put. Hopefully, put Evan in touch with Elk. Then I wonder what Evan is going to think of this. Me just somebody emailing him out of the blue that he has no idea who it is. Or do you have a new? Do you, well, I think you know my email address. You could easily also email me. Good night, Spoon. To I send out something. Tell him to stop impersonating. Okay, with that, it's 7 after 12. I am actually going to say goodnight. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thanks for chatting. It's been good chatting with y'all and having y'all here. Uh, so God bless, and we will. If you haven't subscribed to my Pied Piper of Hamilton channel, please subscribe there and check out. Like I said, I got videos coming for it this week. There's probably a link in my oh, not the discussion tab. Yeah, one of the tabs in on Cross Comics here. Let's see if I go to Cross Comics. Do my channel on the community tab. There should be a link to the Pied Piper of Hamilton, my latest Mexican snack video. So then you can do stuff with that. Subscribe. Anyways, that went way too long. My outro because I was still being prepared. Disco checks. Disco X. Okay, so bye. God bless. Have a great night. We'll see you all next week for sure. And like I said, keep an eye out for those snack videos. Bye. God bless. Love you all.